Hey there guys, I'm going to try to do the second page on Jing here with the calculator. Here's the second page, calculators allowed. First thing I'm going to do is enter this data into my calculator. I've done that already to save a wee bit of time, and if I go to stat here and edit, you'll see there it is. So once I get my plot set up, I can just do zoom 9 and it shows up. Now I put the curves in already for the quadratic regression and the linear regression, and it wants you to do those two as well as the median line. So I'm going to do that third one right now. If I go to y equals, however, and then go and turn off these equal signs, then that'll hide those two that I've done already. And when we do the third one, that'll be the one that shows up. So if I go down, there's my y3 line. So I'll quit out of that, and then I'll hit the calc button, or stat button rather. I'll go over to calc and I'll choose the third option. I've already done 4 and 5, lin and quad regressions. I'm going to do the median regression. I hit 3, I hit enter, and it gives me that. Alright, so there is my slope 1.8, and there is my intercept b. So I will then go to y equals. It's down, up it was, but it jumped up. Go down to right there, y3, and I'm going to insert that equation. So I hit variables, I choose 5. Hopefully you guys can do this in your sleep by now. Over 2, hit enter, and there it is. And if I hit graph, that is my one median line. You note the difference here. The median line tends to ignore outliers. So this one I think has a little steeper slope. If I go back to y equals and turn on those equal signs, you can now compare which of these equations you think is the best fit. Alright, come on you. There we go. Turn that on, and then if I jump down, turn that one on. If I go to the right arrow here, and then actually I'm going to make the straight lines are pretty obvious, pretty easily confused rather, so I'm going to make this one be thick. And now when I go to graph, I should have a curve, I should have a thin, I should have a thick. Alright, so the first one that I made thick, that's the linear regression. The last one I did is the thin line, that's the median line, and then there is the quadratic regression. Well, which one of these do you think is the best? Alright, well, if I go back to the test here, and that's not it, but that is, and we read this, it is data comparing advertising dollars and profits. I think you could make the case that if you don't spend any money in any advertising, no one will hear about your products, and you'll have poor returns. But if you invest way too much money, that you're going to waste a lot of the money and burn into your profits. So there probably is a just right Goldilocks amount. So I'm going to tend to go with that curve, and I hope it's clear to you on the test that one or the other is likely to be the best bet. So sketching that out is going to look like my calculator doing those three. Now here it says compare the graphs and determine. I'm going to say it's the quadratic regression, and then it says predict the profit when $44,000 is spent on advertising. So if I go back to my graph here and I look at my equations, $44,000 is going to be beyond the 35 I've got, so I might need to adjust my window, and I'm going to go up here to say 50, hit enter, and go to my graph, and I can see a little bit more. That's good. Now if I go to trace, I'm running out of time here. You can use more sophisticated things like find maximum or whatever. Actually, sure, let's do that. Well, no, we'll trace because we're going to a certain location on there. So here I am wasting time, but nevertheless we're going to do that. Go trace, and remember you can get locked into the points, so I'm going to go to the curve using the arrows. Now this is a straight line, so let me get beyond that and then jump down till I see it on, there it is, it's on my upside down parabola, and I'm going to go till x there is not at 36 but is at 45, and I'm going to go with anything that's close. Obviously there we go, 45.0, pretty darn close, and y is about 50.6. I might round that to 51, but if you said 68 will be 50.7. That would be an excellent answer there. So 50.7 is a good prediction when Okay, I'm back doing the very last part of this second page. Show how to find the median line without a calculator. You can use the calculator obviously for crunching the numbers, and you can check it, but I wanted you to show step by step how to do that. So going to a typewritten account of this just for clarity. Remember how we've done this in class. Step 1, you make those 3 symmetric nearly equal groups. I've done that. You find the summary point for each one of those 3 groups. The summary point is simply the middle x value matched up with the middle y value. It doesn't have to be a middle point. Be careful not to do that. In this case, it happens to be a middle for each of those, so it's 4, 9 is your first summary point. Here, it's neither of these points. It's the average of those two for a median if you have only 2 or an even number. You find the 2 middle ones and average them, so that's 10.5 and 23. Then the middle point for the x's here is 25, and the middle value for the y's is 47. So there are my 3 summary points. I then use these outer 2 points to find the slope. It's not very pretty, but if you work through it, you're going to get 38 over 21. I didn't simplify it. You could do it as a decimal if you wanted. You got the calculator after all, but this way it's really clear to see where I'm getting those numbers from. Then I find the super summary point, which is the mean of those summary points above. So I add 4 and 10.5 and 25 and divide, and I get approximately 13.2. I rounded it. You can go to the nearest tenth. I did the same thing for the y's. I added them up, divided by 3, and I get very close to 26.3. So there's my super summary point. Then I simply put those points, those values, x and y, into y equals mx plus b using the m from above, and I will then try to get you to see the bottom of this is what I'll try to do. But here I show you how I solved it. There's my y, there's my slope, there's my x. I'm solving for little old b. I grind it out, do the subtraction, and I get 2.4. If you remember, going back to the calculator, I think our median equation had it as, let's go down, I think it was 2.5, and so we're really close. Yep, there it is, 2.5. So that's just a little bit of round off error that's accumulated, but very, very similar. So there you have it, page 2.